My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Slay the Spire. Alrighty, to Slay the Spire. Alrighty, right. We have the Ironclad. 3 random potions to start with? Yikes, these are all pretty poor options here. I don't want to trade our starting relic, it's super powerful as this character. Okay, 2 midline upgrades, 3 elites, or 3 midline upgrades, 2 elites. More question marks on the ladder path. Alright, we'll go with a random colorless. We get finesse. It could have been worse. Could have been better, could have been worse. So, finesse is going to provide us with 2 block, as well as just cycling itself for the draw. It's okay, I guess. Unless we get any way to increase our dex, it's not necessarily that impactful. It could help us form an infinite, actually. I'm gonna take the Rampage here on floor 1, just to help me get through elites. I'm gonna try and make sure that at the end of each of these fights, I'm healing up. So I'm gonna prioritize defending over aggressing. At least for the time being. Cool. Headbutt definitely goes in this deck. Puts the Rampage back atop the deck as long as we draw them in the right order, which we didn't. Killing the backliner there saves me 8 damage. Totally worthwhile. Drop kick and dual wield offered in the same hand. Wow. Okay, if we had have stuck for the possibility of getting an infinite, we would have taken the drop kick here. We would have had finesse and drop kick, and then we literally just need to cut what? So finesse, drop kick, 1, 2, 3. We just need to cut 8 cards from the deck. Really unfortunate. That would have been a first removal opportunity right here. Not the second, unfortunately. Let's upgrade that bash. So now we're ready to take out a bunch of elites. Definitely don't take the doubt there. Don't want to have to add any cards to this deck that I have to remove later. Strawberry raising our max HP by 7. We'll go with the Sapphire Key there instead, actually. And now we should probably just start to upgrade our defensive cards. We've already got all of our aggression pretty much laid out for us. So we'll Rampage Finesse here and do nothing else. We're just looking to try and build the Rampage as much as we possibly can before we wake the enemy up. How likely are we to get Rampage next turn? So we're drawing 3 cards out of a total of 11. 3 out of 11. It's not that good. Alright, we'll just headbutt it back to the top of the deck and start fighting now then. Okay. I have to play Rampage every single time I get it. Unfortunately, we got headbutt on the very bottom of the deck here. That means the next Rampage needs to be in this hand, or I don't get to use the headbutt in order to get it. Looks like I don't get to use the headbutt in order to get it. But that's okay, we have lethal. Darkstone Periouts, whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max HP by 6, as well as second copy of headbutt. It's only that good if I can make sure that I get Rampage earlier than either of the headbutts. Still take the second copy. Upgrades 2 strikes. It's fine. Helps my offensive potential. Ooh, this is pretty good. Alright, so we'll Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, and then just strike the backline. So we've set up for a Rampage to kill that backliner. Great. Another headbutt left in deck, but we do have double defense this turn as well. Should definitely put a defend back atop my deck, just so that I can try and defend for 10 and have Rampage come out each turn. So Rampage, the backliner here, is lethal. There's also just a bunch of damage draws that I could have that would also be lethal. Yeah, like this is one of them. Rampage, headbutt, and strike. Hell yes. Good turn right there. The boot, whenever you would deal 4 or less unblocked attack damage, increase it to 5, as well as our second copy of Liquid Bronze. Not bad. Do I want to take a True Grit here? Yes. Start burning out every card in my deck that isn't Rampage or a headbutt. I put the strike back atop the deck because now I have the kill on that backliner, who's very likely to be attacking this turn. And was. Alright. Power Potion as well as another True Grit? Yeah, we'll take it. We do need to upgrade both of them before we can really be happy about using the unupgraded ones. It's okay though. Okay, so this is just going to be Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, and draw the Rampage and play it again. So now we have one card dealing 24 damage by itself. It's our scaling win condition. Use headbutt to put it back atop the deck. Defend. I actually don't even care about that bash right now. Okay, we did get to keep it though. So I could use double Liquid Bronze in this fight. However, it's not necessary. Those are going to be much better served, or much better suited, rather, to taking out the Book of Stabbing. Or alternatively, what else? The Book of Stabbing or the not Book of Stabbing that I can't remember the name of right now. Put another headbutt back atop the deck there so that I can do another turn of just Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, finesse, and then Rampage again. This is one of my favorite deck archetypes back from like extremely old playthroughs of this game that I made. Double tapping a Rampage now does increment it twice, so I would have immediately gone for the offering, but the double tap is huge here. Sozu, gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer obtain potions. It's actually worth noting that a Rampage deck that doesn't have a zero-cost draw card, like Finesse, oftentimes desperately needs extra energy, and the reason is so that you can, in the same hand, Rampage, headbutt, use a card draw, and then Rampage again. One card draw is typically something like Pommel Strike or Shrug It Off. 1, and then 1 more for the Rampage, so 4 is like a really good amount to have. But because we have the Finesse, we're actually well suited to this. That's one of the big reasons I took the Rampage early, because we have the Finesse. Now, it's worth noting, the deck shouldn't get much larger than this. We should just be cutting strikes from now on. So for that same reason, we're going to look to hit as many shops as quickly as we possibly can. There's a line with 3 shops, 2 midline rests, 2 elites. Hell yes, sold. Count me in. Finesse first, just in case we draw the right card. We don't, but double tapping a bash there is still pretty good. Okay. So this turn you'll see we play double tap, we play the Rampage. It does 12 damage the first time, and then increments for the second hit. Did 24 with the second hit, and that's because 8, 16, 16 plus 8 for the vulnerability is the 24. And now it's increased 2 times. Went 8, 16, 24. It did not used to work like that. So I would forgive anyone who's like, no, Rhapsody, it's not how that works. It does now. Didn't used to, but it does now. Chemical X and Whirlwind is insane, but I don't want to do that deck, frankly. Put 3 random attacks from your draw pile into your hand. It's actually really powerful. I just don't want to do Whirlwind Chemical X. I've done that before. I've done that recently. This is an interesting thing that I get to do here. Let's do the interesting thing. Double tap headbutt is super interesting in that the first headbutt puts the double tap back atop your deck, and then the second headbutt puts the headbutt back atop your deck. Because the second headbutt is not technically a headbutt, or rather, it's not technically the same headbutt. Tap the Rampage, headbutt back to the top of the deck, kill. And we're not going to exhaust enough cards. Like, we've got 2 True Grits in the deck and a Violence, we're not going to exhaust enough cards to use a Feel No Pain there to its full effect. That's just going to bloat the deck by 1 card. Don't need it. Okay. Yep, more than happy to just remove another strike. As I said before, the entire goal here is going to be thinning down the deck. Oh gosh, hell yes. So we're going to... Rampage, headbutt that back to the top of the deck, headbutt that back to the top of the deck, and then just True Grit. So now we've got another headbutt and a Rampage back on top of the deck. Beautiful. Double tap that Rampage. Hell yes. We want the double tap upgraded as soon as possible. Rampage back on top. Beautiful. Get 'em, boys. Woo! Look at how well this fight is scaling. Oh, the violence there just coming in clutch. Great kill. Self-forming clay, whenever you lose HP, gain 3 block next turn. Now the card Brutality is a huge pickup for us. Don't want to take another headbutt, too many. So, double tap, True Grit, and Violence all need to be upgraded. Probably double tap first. This is where I would use the Liquid Bronze, but since I have Sozu, I'm never getting any more energy in this deck. Any more potions in this deck, so I kind of want to hold all of these until the heart fight at the end. See if I can kill the heart with the Rampage deck. That'd be super cool. Rampage back atop the deck. Double tap back atop the deck. Defend. Oh, this is going to go off. Double tap the Rampage. Double tap the headbutt. Rampage, double tap back atop the deck. Beautiful. Oh, yes. Goodbye. It's the Singing Bowl. When adding cards to your deck, you may raise your max HP by 2 instead. Shrug It Off is actually really, really powerful in this deck. Again, for the same reason I mentioned before, it's a card that helps us draw. We only have 1 card in the deck that currently does that. Like, this is obviously a quote-unquote draw effect. But drawing the top card of our deck is really important so that we can benefit from a headbutt on the same turn. Plus, it defends us. Comes pre-upgraded as well. There's nothing not to love there. Calibers, at the start of your turn, lose 15 block rather than all of it. Okay. That can be ridiculous for this character. Definitely double tap the Rampage, the strike. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, so I can headbutt the Rampage back atop the deck. Is there a better turn there? Because Violence only puts cards from your draw pile into your hand. Is there a better play there? Would have been to use Violence rather than the Finesse for the draw, then I would have had another defensive card in my hand. I don't think I could have killed that turn. If I could have, then however I could do it is alien to me, frankly. So the problem here is if I take the Relic, I'm not going to have enough to remove another card in the next shot. I'm going to go for the safe option, just remove the card. At this point, like, the deck can win with just these cards. I just need to thin it down. Oh my gosh. Perfect draw. Oh, just insane damage. Do love it. If that was an upgraded Shrug It Off, I would still be tempted to take it. I need a way to get Violence in my opening hand. If I can get that in my opening hand, like, consistently, we're off to the races. Sure, I do no damage this turn, but I burn 2 cards out of the deck that I don't necessarily want there. Unfortunately, my Rampage is about to be taken by this frontliner, so it's very important that I set up a kill against them. Oh, you took violence? Rather than the... Oh, there's still a double tap as well. Okay, yeah, rarer cards were still in deck. That's fair enough. Okay, so I'll double tap the Rampage here. Then the headbutt on the back line to put the double tap and the Rampage back in the top of the deck. I could violence just to immediately... You know what? I'll violence just to draw the Rampage here. Because now the enemy is going to take the double tap, and then I can kill them with a single attack. Or I can just wait to kill that enemy until I have the Rampage in my hand, so I have something that I want to double tap. I'm intentionally not killing the backliner here. I want to wait until I have Rampage in hand. Cool. Headbat back on top of the deck. Cool. Just cutting a bunch of cards from my deck as well. Not my powerful defensive cards, though. We will double tap the headbutt, just put the double tap and the headbutt back atop the deck, though. I know the enemy's not attacking next turn. They're stunned the turn after they Hyper Beam. So it's double tap Rampage, double tap the headbutt to put the double tap and the Rampage back atop the deck for lethal. I love this deck. Oh, it was like the first deck I fell in love with. Brutality, at the start of your turn, lose 1 HP and draw 1 card. Now, because of the self-forming clay, that's also 3 block for us every single turn. Philosopher's Stone, gain energy at the start of your turn. All enemies start combat with 1 strength. What's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is not anything on the next floor. I don't really care about anything on the next floor. Having extra energy is still pretty good for this deck, if a little unnecessary. If I had another Shrug It Off in the deck, then this would be a lot more viable. But the big problem with the Philosopher's Stone right now is that it will amplify the damage by the heart on its multi-attack turns by 12. And if I'm vulnerable, it amplifies it on the second cycle by 24. Which is a lot of damage. Second cycle, because it'll have extra strength by then and it hits a different breakpoint on the vulnerability. So it's entirely viable to just take one of these other 2 options just to avoid the downside of the Philo Stone here. Okay. I'll take the Tiny House. Upon pickup, gain 1 potion, which I'm not even going to be able to take. Obtain 50 gold. Raise your max HP by 5, rather, sorry. Obtain 1 card and upgrade 1 random card. We actually upgraded a really, really, really good card there in upgrading Brutality. It's now innate, so I don't have to wait until I get its effect. I'm also just going to take the max HP now. Donu and Deckers. Yeah, probably the worst boss I could have gotten this floor for this build. That's okay, though. I've dealt with worse. I've killed the heart with infinite builds. I'll be fine. Right, I'm going to True Grit to defend. And I'm going to headbutt. Finesse back to the top of the deck. I wanted to headbutt the True Grit back to the top of the deck, actually. Violence so that I can get that. Get that. Hell yeah. Double the headbutt as well. Get that double tap and the Rampage back on top of the deck. And then draw only the Rampage here. Leaving the double tap. They didn't have enough energy to play both of them that turn. If only I had more energy. Double tap and the Headbutt. Cool. Okay, so this Rampage is now enough to just straight up remove a target from the field. It's actually the safest play that I can make in terms of our HP. Just because the frontliner and the backliner are dealing the most damage there. Alright. It's offering us a lot of flame barriers, but those are going to be really, really heavy. Which is to say they will weigh heavily on our deck unless we're in the multi-hit turn of the... That was the wrong one to do that in. That's my bad. It's fine, we still got lethal. Unless we're in the multi-hit turn of the heart, they're going to weigh really heavily on our deck, and we're not going to want them there. Nope. Battle Trance is free draw, but it ends your draw for that turn as well, so it can be really, really dangerous. We're not going to scale fast enough to kill these two before we take a significant amount of damage, and considering we have the Emerald Elite in 2 spaces that we just have to fight, kinda don't want to tempt fate here. Definitely Rampage. Headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck. Trigger of defense. Perfect defend there. And then just get another defend out of the deck. Basically just need a single large Rampage to kill that enemy here. But in a pinch, I guess 2 hits will do. Don't need any of that. Another card removal. Ooh, medical kit. Unplayable status cards can now be played whenever you play a status card exhausted. That is really important. The big reason that's important is because in the heart fight, there's going to be a bunch of statuses put in our deck that are going to chunk up our draw. And having this is really going to help us out there. We just have to take it. I didn't want to, but it was just extremely the correct move there. Yikes. That's a lot of damage the enemy intends on doing here. Alright, I'm going to use Violence for the draw this turn. Not because I really wanted the draw there, but just so that I know that Finesse will now hit a defensive card, which it does. Alright, we'll double tap that just to put it back atop the deck, amplify the damage of it a little bit more so that we kill the turn after. Really? You have to be doing the 45 again here? It's the absolute worst. Well, we definitely have to veer off and rest as soon as possible here. I can't believe it. If you do the 45 again here, I'm going to be mad. Okay, it's not the 45. Rampage. Headbutt that Rampage back atop the deck. Don't draw. 40. Put Burns in my deck, you madman. What awful turns. Kunai, every time to play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dex. Very good pickup for us. Extremely good pickup. More than happy to lose the bash. It's a bit heavy anyway. Preserved Insect. Enemy in elite fights have... elite combats, rather, have 25% less HP. It is possible that we kill here. Let's try. to be very, very, very careful with our turn. Not what I was looking for. Pretty obviously not what I was looking for. Rampage. Headbutt that Rampage back atop the deck. Double tap's still in there. It's obviously what I was looking for. Double tap the Rampage. Then double tap the Headbutt. Double tap the Rampage back atop the deck again. Double tap the Rampage and double tap the Headbutt here as well. Alright, we're not going to kill here. With a better draw, I think we could have gotten them below half HP. Although, yeah, I would have been very surprised if we could have killed. Oh well. Dex Potion would be really nice if I could have it, but I can't. Take a single copy of Disarm. Only good against the heart in the first cycle, right? Because the second cycle, the heart starts to get the artifact, and as soon as the heart has artifact, I can't affect it ever again. I have no status effects in the deck, so I wouldn't be able to hit it with a disarm. So it would just minimize the damage that I take on turns 1 or 2. Not worth chunking up the deck. Also, we're not going to be able to affect Donor or Decker with it, so even rougher there. Headbutt that Rampage, headbutt that Headbutt, strike. I'm liking this Kunai, quite effective for us. That was the wrong order to put those cards back atop my deck. What I should have done is put the Rampage back atop my deck second, because then this Finesse would draw that Rampage. Okay. 16 incoming, fine. Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck. Finesse. Rampage again, yay! Double tap showing up at the weirdest times, by which I mean not showing up. Getting some serious decks going on, though. Very pleased with that. Don't need another headbutt in the deck. Alright. Warpaint, upon pick up, upgrade 2 random skills. Just 2 defends, alright. Rest here. Sorry, rest here. I'm gonna recall here, rather. Take my 333 rather than the full heal here, because I'm just going to rest in the next space. So that extra money is going to help us possibly pick up a very impactful relic next floor. I'm going to headbutt the draw back to the top of the deck, because I don't trust... Yeah, I was right not to. I don't trust that I was going to draw an impactful card there. Violence. What card draws you 4 attacks from your draw pile into your hand? Finally, I can say that Violence really is the answer. Rampage, headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, and then we'll just defend. I'm going to start burning out the strikes, even though I have lower value defense in my hand. Beautiful. Rampage, double tap back atop the deck here. Defend for 15. This is never a deck that was going to perfect these, by the way. Okay. Yikes. Yeah, didn't really get the cards that I was looking for here. I'm going to burn out one of the headbutts now. Served its usefulness. Double tap that Rampage for the kill, and then Headbutt to get the Rampage and the double tap back atop the deck. We'll True Grit to burn out the Daze. I want to keep the Shrug It Off in the deck. I might need the defense if we have some bad turns here. Great. Headbutt the Rampage back atop the deck. Draw and use it. Come on, Rampage. Hey, got him. Alright, Ascension 7 completed with a Rampage deck. A really, really thin Rampage deck. Do like that. Alright. See what we can get in this store. Ooh. There's very little in the deck that I need to upgrade. I'm just going to rest, get back to max HP. Orange Pellets. Whenever you play a power, attack, and skill in the same turn, remove all of your debuffs. Now, the problem with that is pretty clear from the outset. It's that it's not Tori, and I have to take Tori. Also, Orange Pellets, we only have one power in the deck, and we play that power almost invariably on turn 1. Yeah, we should just remove another card, get another strike out of the deck. I would have taken potions there if I could, but I can't, so I won't. Come on. Are we just going to get really, really, really bad RNG on this fight every single time today? We get the double tap in hand with absolutely no attacks, and we get our weakest defense in the first hand as well. Wild. I just have to defend as much as I possibly can that turn. The Violence draws literally one card. Yay. Oh, look at that Spike Shield going for ridiculous damage right here. I hate that I basically have to spend my entire turn here defending. We're not going to have a good time in the heart fight. Oh, look, double tap with all of my defense. Game, if you hate me, you can just say it. I can take it. I won't cry much. There are no turns where the enemies are just letting up for even just a millisecond here. And it is so frustrating. Obviously should have played that burn, but I'm a little bit on tilt right now. You'll have to apologize. Yep, you'll have to apologize. You'll have to forgive me is obviously what I meant to say, but no, I stand by it. How dare you? Gremlin Horn, this is literally entirely useless at this point. Whenever an enemy dies, gain an energy and draw a card. Sure. Can I put a Battle Trance in this deck? Yeah, we'll take it. Take the second Brutality as well. I'm going to Brutality. I am taking damage intentionally here because it's giving me extra block next turn. And the enemy is obviously attacking next turn. We'll Rampage, Headbutt the Rampage back to the top of the deck, then Shrug It Off and Rampage again. Getting our first point of Dex. Okay. Tori is going to help defend us this turn, which is a huge reason why I wanted it. Boy, howdy, we have some garbage cards in our deck. Alright, we'll Headbutt the Rampage back atop the deck, then Finesse to draw it. Hopefully we get the double tap here. We don't. Thanks for all the blocks, sucker! Alright. Let's headbutt to put the double tap back atop the deck. Do the battle trance here so that I can double tap Rampage. Then I'll violence so that I can double tap this headbutt to put the Rampage and double tap back atop the deck. Yeah, you had to do the big attack this turn. Damn it. That was the worst case scenario for us, by the way. There goes my headbutt. Ow. Okay. Shrug it off first. No finesse. Okay, so what? I can take 9 hits against my HP. In instances of 4, we are defended currently only against 5 of those. So I do need more defense here. The problem is if I don't double tap Rampage, I'm never going to win. So can I double tap Rampage as well as full defend this turn? So if we double tap the Rampage, we go down to 29. 28 defends me against 7. We will have literally 1 HP. Thank you, Tori. Oh! Brutality. Start of your turn, lose 1 HP. Draw a card. Yep. I felt so clever. Like, I figured it out, right? And then next turn, I double tap the Rampage. And then the turn after, I double tap the Rampage after a defense. And I'll be fine. I should be able to get through this. I felt like if I didn't double tap the Rampage that turn, there was no way I was going to kill before the next attack landed, and there's no way I was going to defend against the next attack. So I don't know if I had a chance of victory there. Maybe if I just attacked rather than double tapping there, that is to say use the Rampage as well as another defend, maybe I would have had a chance, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a lot of candies and nuts. I think is the way that saying goes. For the moment, though, my name's been Rhapsody. The name of the game's been Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There's a playlist in the description down below with all my content on the game, past, present, and future, and hopefully we'll see you next time.